Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions this lovely Saturday. We're once again live for the Almeida Racing League Season 8, which has brought us already some fantastic action in the Formula 1600s. We are today at a track that should provide some fantastic action in these cars, the Circuit de Lédenon. It's a very twisty, tight, hilly French track, and it's one that these cars are very well suited for. Looking forward to bringing you the action here live on the Pit Road Productions and on the Almeida Racing League channel. I'm Reese Gardner, John Wright alongside me with the schedule at our hands at the moment. Mosport, Oschersleben and Lime Rock Park, we've already run those. Lédenon is where we are at for round 4. Tsukuba is playing host to the next round of the season with VIR, Okayama and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal playing host to the opening 8 rounds of the season. All tracks that should provide some pretty fantastic runnings here. But for the moment, we'll keep our eyes peeled on Navarra, Rudskogen and Brands Hatch for the final 3 rounds of the championship, with a special event right here on Pit Road Productions scheduled for September the 12th. So keep an eye on our socials for that one. Format for today, as usual, 60 minutes worth of practice. The drivers have already run and done that one. They're in the middle of 15 minutes of open qualification, and we are going to have a single 1-hour race for today's particular format. I tell you what, John, this is going to be a very interesting one. An hour-long race in the Formula 1600s. I mean, I've never experienced it before. Looking forward to seeing what you think of it.
Oh, I am absolutely chomping at the bit. When it comes to open wheel racing, I am all in and then some. Good evening, folks. Welcome everyone on Pit Road and Almeida. Thank you very much, Reese, for the intro. Yeah, I'm a huge F4 component. Open wheels, I have to admit, it is my first time at this track, but given the description that you gave me beforehand, Reese, excitement might be something of an understatement. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the drivers do tonight. I mean, to me, this just seems tyres for an hour. Yeah, fun.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good point that you raised there. I've never seen a race that requires a tyre change in these cars, but we might see that today. There's an awful lot up in the air. There is an awful lot as well that has happened in this championship so far, so I reckon we should bring up those point standings and have a look at how things are going into this round. So we are starting things off with the Academy overall. Timothy Eng, who was a new driver for this season, has already made a big name for himself. He is top of everybody, with Ian Joyner, previous double champion of the league, being in second, ahead of Kevin Lau, Jeffrey Adkins, and Max Wiedorn. I believe that Jeffrey and Max are from another split. Eng, Joyner, and Lau are all from Split 1. We move to the Split 1 Premier standings, and we will once again see Timothy Eng on top of those, with Joyner and Lau behind him. But we have Jeremy Childers and Philip Falcon rounding out our top 5. And looking at those top standings, there is barely anything between Timothy and Ian at the front of the standings. One bad race could really spell doom for the championship charge at the moment. With a single 1-hour race on the cards tonight, that's particularly important to keep in mind. In the club class, meanwhile, isolating all of those drivers who previously appear in those overall standings, it's Philip Falcon on top, ahead of Anthony Ori and Rich Meesters. A solid lead that Philip Falcon has built up. He's been knocking on the door of getting more success in this series thus far, and this is the season where his driving has really come alive. Rich Meesters is looking for a bit more luck out there to try and close the gap to Ori, but Ilariano and Michael Cords, there's only 2 points between those two, so there's almost definitely going to be some kind of a change at the back end of the top 5 here today, John.
Yeah, there really is some very, really close standings. We've got, 28 drivers in, so multiple splits are going to be massively affected by a tricky course tonight that's going to see some very close races. And Reese, for me, I mean, you and I know one another from FDL very well. The open wheel racing, there is just something different about it. The way the drivers can really get wheel to wheel and push the boundaries with 2-3 wides. It's exhilarating, and a course that undulates like an extended Brands Hatch and the Nürburgring had a baby. There's going to be a lot of it on show tonight.
Yeah, that's probably the best description of Lédenon I've ever heard. If Brands Hatch and the Nürburgring had a baby, and what a sick, twisted baby it can be, especially with those opening left-handers. They're going to provide some interesting action on lap one.
Yeah, oh, they really are. They really are. And it'll be good to see as well. You know me, I have spent 5 years at the back of the grid. Very much sim racing. That's why I hide behind the microphone and judge others so harshly. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the action tonight if we see any of the front runners drag themselves back. Because another thing about the open wheelers is it's easy to go side by side, as you well know from your very informative track guides. It's very easy to lose a lot of pace and momentum, though. You can really bring more drivers into it. And we could see some drivers from the club making their way right up inside the top 15, if not the top 10 here potentially. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be cheering for that myself.
Yeah, I'm going to be cheering for it as well. I'm pretty sure the Academy is going to be cheering the deal with livery for the merch that has just come out of pre-order as well. Zippy and I have been promoting the Almeida Racing Academy and livery collaboration for some time here, and all the same items are still available. It does say it's on pre-order on the website. That is not the case. They've been taken off pre-order now. So if you want to get one of those shirts, one of those caps, or the Almeida brand quarter zip, it's no longer on pre-order, yes, but it is still available to purchase. So if you want to get some nice gear, make sure to get yourself in there. There's also a nice little promo going on for the anniversary of the Almeida Academy. There is an anniversary discount happening this weekend, and it ends on the 20th of July, so not much time left. An extra 20% off any gold membership. So monthly, it goes from $60 to $40 a month, $90 a quarter if you're quarterly, and $240 a year if you're going for a yearly. That is a 60% discount total on a yearly gold membership, and it's not like other subscription models where, oh, you know, there's the introductory price, but then you're paying full price again after a set amount of time. No, they're not doing that at the Almeida Academy. You take this deal, you get 20% off forever for as long as you stay a gold member. The special code is on the website, and again, it runs from today until July the 20th. So yeah, get in there. It's really good value for a great coaching academy.
Yeah, that really is. Sorry, Reece, absolutely threw you under the bus with the just throwing us straight into qualifying. We're running a little bit behind, but yeah, that is an absolutely epic offer. So if you sign up at the moment, you get a lifetime 20% discount.
Yeah,
I'm going to sign up on principle.
All right, good
I'm going to
stuff.
sign up on principle. That's just, yeah, there we go. I'm going to sign up on general principle because that is an absolutely epic offer. And to be fair, I do like the colour combination on those t-shirts as well. I'm not going to lie, there could well be an Almeida tee on screen for a pit road production broadcast before the end of the season, because that is a very nice gold on blue colour as well. So yeah, big fan, big fan.
Excellent stuff, and hey, maybe with that Academy membership, you can stop judging people from behind the mic and get a bit further up the grid. Speaking of, let's check in with those qualifying times.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that before I go down a rabbit hole with that one.
Indeed. 2 minutes to go in the session. 1 minute 25.79 from Tuca Valkeasuo. He's a driver that we haven't usually seen up the top this season in the F1600s. He's been struggling to sort of break into the top 10 at most rounds from what I've seen. So it's really good to see that Tuca has had a good run of things in this session thus far. We're keeping a close eye on him at the moment. And we also have a couple of drivers, or at least one of them, returning from previous seasons. It's been a while since I've seen Zdenek Hamak. Good to see that he's out there as well. Last time I saw him was back in the Spec Racer 4 days, a couple of seasons ago. So let's see how well he does. At the moment, Ian Joyner and Kevin Lau are rounding out your top three, and the times are still looking quite close up the front. But as you can see, John, it's a very twisty track, and so traffic can be a problem in qualifying.
Yes, it absolutely, most definitely can. It's good to see open qualifying as well. I'll have to say kudos to the league. I know a lot of leagues go for closed, but yeah, I'm certainly a big fan of the open qualifying. It does add that little bit of extra jeopardy i.e. the traffic, as you very much just alluded to, as Kevin Lau, as we can see, he's just gone purple in sector number 1, and he is down in sector number 2. Did someone say traffic? Right on cue. The driver's making us look exceptionally professional and almost like soothsayers at the game already, so I like this league. Big fan. But Ian Joyner, he is traffic free. Look at the twisty stuff through there. Expect much front right suspension camera throughout the race. It will be absolutely glorious to see the elevation changes that you see here at this absolutely incredible course. And Joyner slightly slower in sector 3, but matters not a jot. Although he's instantly just had sector 1 taken off him for purple. Here we go. This is the business end of qualifying, and we'll absolutely love it, Reese.
Oh, yeah, for sure. End of the session, the checkered flag has flown, so anyone who crosses the line from here on out, that is their final time. Great one from Ian Joyner, and it looks like he might have been able to cross the line before the clock ran out, so this is another opportunity for him to try and extend that advantage that he has. While we have a moment, a little chat about Lédenon. I first encountered this circuit as a mod for Simbin's Race 07, my first sim before I got onto iRacing. And I found out quite a bit about this circuit. It's built in an old quarry. Used to be sort of mine/quarry, and the site was owned by a husband and wife duo from memory who still run the circuit today. Small club level venue, used to be a lot narrower, but it has played host to the French Touring Car Championship many times, and it's made a name for itself as one of the great sort of lower level venues in France, a country that is packed with fantastic tracks. This is one of those elevation changes you were talking about, John. The run out of the final corner here onto the start-finish straight. You are driving into the sky as you make your way across the line. Let's see what this time's like for Joyner. It is not an improvement. He was a 10th off his best, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. He's still on pole.
He is indeed, and I can confirm I've paid good money at theme parks to get views like that on roller coasters. So whoever designed this track, kudos to you, my man. Hopefully one day you do branch out into roller coasters as well, because that track looks a whole lot of fun. But Joyner, yeah, didn't quite go quicker on that last one, but doesn't matter. He has a gargantuan half a tenth between the top two. It's just, yeah, there's such a wide gap. We'll get the grid up in a moment. Oh, in fact, my apologies. What Jeremy Childers? No, he isn't out on track.
Looks like everyone's done.
The camera, yeah. So let's get us back once again until we get the full qualifying results up. But yeah, I mean,
just a few
given
seconds.
how close it is, a tenth and a half between the top three. Ridiculous. Timothy Ing, he's winning everything. He's at the top of the Premier and the main Academy standings, and he is on row number 2. What more could you ask for the start of a race?
Absolutely. It's crazy, those gaps in qualifying. We'll get a chance to check it all out now because we are back into the session and bringing you the grid now. Ian Joyner has pole position with Tuukka Valkeasuo in second spot. Timothy Ing, our championship leader, alongside Kevin Lau, who rounds out the top 3. Then it's Illes Vaik and Tyler Harker, who round out our top 6. Harker gaining the club class pole. Dominicus Consavicius is alongside Carl Diaz-Castro on row 4, Brian Lenz and Jakub Chepley rounding out your top 10. Then we've got Zdenek Hamark making his return to the Academy again. Philip Falcon, our club class championship leader, starting alongside him on row number 6. Then Todd Bonesteel and Jeremy Childers are your 7th row. Josh Nessel and Mark Schmurder, row number 8. Rich Meesters, Kevin Adrian, Anthony Ori and Michael Cords round out your top 20. Luis Rivellino, a little bit lower down the field than I expected, with Michael Tan alongside Norman Rin in 23rd alongside Joe Haas. Then it's Charles Krasik, Andrei Svoboda, Sarnas Bruzga and Manuel Hoffer making our field. No Academy coaches here today, and it looks like we're just in time getting through the grid because we're about to get this start going. Green flag flying off the standing start, and we are away for an hour's worth of racing here at Lédenon, the endurance round of the season, and it looks like Joyner's already lost the lead. Tuukka Valkeasuo alongside and through, coming into Triple Gauche, which is the the name for these first 3 corners. Triple meaning 3, and of course that's 3 left-handers to start off the lap. A clean start from our field as they come back over the hill for the first time. Some big racing further back. They were briefly 3 wide. Zdenek Mark absolutely steaming into the hairpin and making contact with Tyler Harker and Carl Diaz-Castro. We've had a spin as well. Philip Falcon, Dominicas Consavicius all around, and it looks like one driver towed back to the pits. That's Rich Meesters.
Indeed, yeah, it was a very quick start. We've all got the overtake for the lead back on screen. Apologies, we missed out with the starting grid, but Kevin Lau actually had a crash right at the start. Valcasio did get the very clean overtake, and we've had a big incident there. Manuel Hofer was involved in an incident, and then, yeah, we saw quite a few cars there. Brian Lawns caught up in it. Consavicius was in there, Falcon was in there, and Meesters was in there as well. So we will get some replays once we get some relative sense up at the front. We'll see if this battle is, because the battle is continuing, Reese. We've got these 5 cars up at the front. You can see the little bit of a gap that they've got, so already breaking away into 2, but Valcasio making a very good overtake at the start, and he is leading the pack at the end of lap 1.
Yep, certainly is. Nice lead indeed. The slipstream very strong in these cars, but the main straight at Lédenon is really the only place you can make use of that slipstream, and not much of it either. It's a very short straight. It's all about your performance through the turns at this circuit and keeping that momentum up. You see some minor gains being made by Timothy Ng there on the back of Ian Joyner, the dark grey number 30, chasing down the bright yellow number 8, as Tuka Valkyasuo in the blue car up front is enjoying a nice lead at the moment, about as nice as you can ask for here at Lédenon, riding on board with our championship leader and getting some good perspective again on how drastic the elevation changes are here. Look at this, through this left-hander you can't see the track, and then whoa, hang on a minute, there's the right-hander that you got to start braking through for the next hairpin.
Yep, that is almost like turns 8 and 9 at Portimao. I'm a couple of turns off there, but yeah, down through the hill, and then yeah, so this almost does bear a resemblance there. This is almost like a short end last couple of corners at Interlagos almost, so you can very much see the elevation changes. So they're all ones that drivers will be used to, but not quite in this configuration. It really is a bit of a tyre shredder, and completely unsighted, of course, from the cockpit, and it does make it stomach-turningly fun for the drivers, or does it? We can certainly ask them at the end. It's a great view from on board. Timothy Ng trying to keep up with the top 2. These cars not got much in the way of aerodynamics either, Reese. They are greased lightning, bars of soap basically through the wind, nothing on the front or back end to keep them really pinned to the road. So it is all about that mechanical grip that the drivers can drag out with the car. So really some phenomenal work on the pedals, and Timothy Ng has massively closed in, and these 3 now scrapping away for the overall race lead.
Yes, they don't have much of a gap to the drivers further back, though. It seems that the top 5 have made a breakaway from the rest of the field. Club class leader Tyler Harker is leading up that battle for 6th spot. Just behind him, Jakub Chepley and Zdenek Hamak both up 3 positions apiece and looking to charge their way forward a little bit more. Zdenek Hamak, of course, has come back to the academy after some time out of it, so he hasn't been classed yet, I believe, in either the Premier or Club classes. So a little bit of an outlier there, but regardless, it's doing very well. As is Kevin Adrian, who is up 6 places after the first couple of laps. He joins a whole host of drivers who are up 6 spots. Anthony Ori behind him, Michael Cords, Luis Revellino, Norman Wren, Andre Svoboda, all up 6 places apiece. Some impressive driving early on.
Indeed, yeah, they've made their way through the field. It does look like it's Falcon, Meesters and Lawns that have sacrificed most of those places. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do, Reese. We'll have a quick look. We'll get a look at the start again that we missed. This is a replay, and he's just absolutely got him bang to right out of the gates. If that was a 100-metre sprint, one driver heard the starting gun, the other one was looking off into the crowd to see if his mum had the camera rolling or something. I'm not sure what was going on there, but absolutely no traction out of the gates, and he has been completely mugged. It's almost like Formula 1 technology kicking in there. The driver's saying it's so difficult to get them going now with the batteries, and very much looked like what happened. But there, Ian Joyner napping on the line after flying through and qualifying, and a painful way to lose the race to the lead, if we're being honest.
Yeah, indeed. But Ian Joyner is very used to battling from behind. And from my experience with this particular season, it's often taken Ian a race or so to really get himself up to the front. Of course, at every other round so far, we have run the 3-race format of 15-minute sprints and field inverts. But that's not the case this round. We've got a single 1-hour race to contend with. So Ian still being in second after just a few minutes elapsed is not the worst news in the world. For Kevin Lau, though, he needs to make up a few more places. And have a look at this. We're starting to see some side-by-side battling. Zdenek Hamak trying to keep Kyle Diaz-Castro behind him, but Kyle has got some speed there, and he'll be up the inside coming into Triple Gauche very easily. But it's all about how you nail these apexes and keep that line going into this final left-hander. Your approach into this corner is what you're really preparing for at the start of the lap, but he has made the move and it's looking very good indeed. We've had some developments as well from further back in the field. Both Rich Meesters and Philip Falcon have made it back out of pit lane after taking repairs, so that's good to see. They'll have plenty of time to try and make up some spots. Brian Lenz, on the other hand, appears to have retired, so we won't be seeing any more of him. And it looks like we're catching the tail end there of what happened to Meesters earlier to put him in the pits in the first place.
Yeah, so there is nothing. I think he's made contact with someone else that's not quite registered, and what we're seeing there is him spinning. This is Brian Lons up over the top of the hill. The undulation changes, catching them out. I did mention how easy it was to go 3 wide in these cars, and easy to lose momentum. Spin at the bottom of the hill, mounted by another car. Has to hold his brakes, toe back to the line, toe back to the pit lane. I think it was Conservicius that was there beside him, and Philip Falcon has also had a couple of incidents as well. I'm not sure if they were fully caught, so we won't risk jumping on just to save the driver's blushes in case it is them simply limping back to the pits. But yeah, as you say, good to see them back out on track. Although I'm sorry to report that Rich Meesters, who is freshly out of the pits, I don't think his tyres were fully warmed up as he's come down the hill. He's caught up to the drivers ahead of him quite nicely, but the back end has said no thank you when it was asked for some grip. And Rich Meesters, it's a character building exercise at the moment, I would say, Reese.
Yes, I would agree. That little crest, sort of sub-crest as you go downhill into the final corner, very easy to lose the rear into there. So that's what happened to Rich there. Checking back in with the battle for the lead here, and Tuka Valkiasuo still holding on to it from Ian Joyner and Timothy Ing. Ing is the only driver in the top 7 that still occupies the same position he started in. There's been minor movements around him for the most part, but I think he might have to start looking in his mirrors, because it seems like Iles Vaik behind him is starting to build some pace. Joyner and Valkiasuo pushing to get it done there, and it's a lot of curb usage by Joyner just then. Lédenon is one of those circuits where as long as you have 2 tyres on the curb, you're good, and it can result in some very interesting looking lines.
I love the confidence you say. You only need, you can still have 2 wheels on the curb. Yeah, no, that's as an open wheel driver, that could be absolutely terrifying. Oh, and he's almost gone sideways there, but yeah, you absolutely do need to and can use the curves. It was certainly. I'm going to have to try this track, Reese. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to try this track. There was another point I was going to make about the undulation, but I've completely forgotten watching them file over those curves. I mean, these cars are a whole lot of fun to drive. As I mentioned, no front or end wing. I'm very much used to the F4s. I mean, they've not got much in the way of aerodynamics, but there's certainly something there. So it really does pay testament. And to me, it does make it that little bit braver going on the curbs, knowing that you've got absolutely nothing but hopes and prayers and wishes and dreams holding the back end of the car down to the track, especially with it being such a lively accelerator curve. Not the quickest cars, but certainly they can shift when they want to. And we've already seen one of the top drivers spin out with a bit too much application on the loud pedal, so it can be done. And the driver's certainly mixing up the pace here. You feel like, as you've said, you've just pointed out the Vac getting up some good pace at the moment, and there seems to be a little bit of concertina effect that would certainly lend into that theory being somewhat true. He really does need to get an overtake done here, save himself a bit of tyres and start pressing the top 5. I mean, we've still got a long race to go, but you want to get yourself in a nice position so you can work your potential at full race strategy.
Yes, and if there is a pit stop required at some point, you want your track position to be good enough to take advantage of a good pit stop. There's not going to be any safety car periods or anything like that to compress the field together, so it's all down to how you can hold on to the pace over the course of the entire race. Back into the top 10 now, looking at Zdenek Amak, who's chasing down Jeremy Childers, who's one of the drivers we like to focus on quite a bit here. Well, we'll have a view of the rear end of his car from the view of Zdenek Amak. Welcome back to the Academy and the League, Zdenek. Worth pointing out, if you're new to this series, every driver you're seeing on the grid at the moment is a student of the Almeida Racing Academy. And, entry to this league comes with a gold membership, and it happens every season. They don't take mid-season joinees, so to speak, but when the next season comes around, if you have a gold membership, then you are able to enter and pre-qualify. It looked like a bit of an issue there for Jakob Chepley ahead of Jeremy Childers and Zdenek Amak, and so that's compressed the battle for 8th somewhat.
Yeah, it really has. And remember as well, lifetime 20% off aforementioned gold membership if you sign up now. So if the thought process is, I'm maybe thinking about this, then that should be the deal breaker right there. You're not just getting an introductory offer, you're getting a lifetime welcome to the family. So yeah, make sure you jump on board, and you can get involved with this type of racing, with these type of liveries on the cars. We can see the cars, oh, he's run a little bit wide there, he's overcooked it ever so slightly. Could have been using a bit of that F4 rear wing that I keep going gooey-eyed over, and yeah, that's my little safety net now. I'm going to be jumping on here and getting some lessons in these bad boys. So yeah, a little bit of to and fro, and in the driving, you're saying Hamak, he is certainly back, and Childers getting the overtake done on Seaplay there, as Seaplay just run himself ever so slightly wide and giving Hamak a new exhaust pipe to chase in the process.
Indeed. Looks like Childers is on the move. He now joins the club of drivers who are up 6 positions or more. And good news for you, John, if you want to drive this track later, you won't have to spend any extra to get it, because Lédenon is part of iRacing's base content. It is free for anyone who has an iRacing subscription to use. We're checking out now Tyler Harker, who's managed to close in to the running order here. 5th place for the moment, and right on the back of Iles Vaik, who seems to have not given Timothy Ing much of a hard race in the last couple of laps. Looks like we have a fresh visitor to pit lane as well. Manuel Hoffer has unfortunately towed back after 9 laps just about completed, but for the moment, big fight here at the back end of the top 5. We're going to see what happened to the Austrian, and looks like on the run into Triple Go, she just lost the rear end of the car, got into the gravel trap, and I think he just called it a day from there.
Yeah, that looked to me potentially like some kind of technical issue. I've certainly had, I do rarely have issues with my pedals, but the technical issue, if I'm going to have one, is the temporary disconnection of my pedals, and that looked to me like the brakes just gave up on him. He was still able to steer ever so slightly, but yeah, you and I know, and I'm sure the Academy teaching it as well, your braking distance reduces drastically if you stay in a straight line. Turning and braking is never the way to solve an issue, realistically speaking, and yeah, so hopefully, yeah, he's told back to pit lane. Hopefully it's something, just a quick pop in and out of the free technical advice. Switch it off and on again. That's how it works, isn't it? Yeah, no, hopefully.
Yeah,
there we go.
usually.
That's $15 an hour, please. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, there we go. The battle is tightening. Yes, indeed. Battle is tightening here, as it looks like there's been actually a bit of a change for the lead. You see Ian Joiners ahead of Tuukka Valkeasuo now, and by some margin. I don't know what's gone on there, but I think a visit to the replay machine might be in order, and here's how Ian Joyner got it done. Great exit out of the final corner, and Tuukka just let him go.
He did, yeah. I think he knew that was, again, this is something that I did alluding to with open wheel racing. You can go side by side, but you will lose momentum. And I think Valkeasuo there Honour is the better part of valour, and keep the charge up and get right back in what slipstream he does get from these cars, and of course to go defensive, because that is Timothy Ing behind him, which is no mean feat on the defensive front. And as you and I both, and every single driver at the Academy will know as well, it is often the third driver in the equation that is the best placed to get one, if not two, overtakes. And Valcuso seeing Joyner coming, and then Timothy Ing potentially following in behind. I think Valcuso's gone defensive to fend off Ing, realising that Joyner had such a good run. You know what, let's live to fight another lap. Although Joyner, he didn't quite get that memo. He's already 2 seconds up the road. So he was sleeping at the start race. Can confirm, Ian Joyner, he is wide awake now. The coffee has definitely kicked in.
Oh, it certainly has. Yeah, he leads by 2.2 seconds, in fact, across the line as they begin the 12th lap of this race with just over a quarter time elapsed. And now the battle really is for second. It looks like Valkyasuo slipping a bit wide there. This is giving a good opportunity to Tyler Harker to catch up to the rest of the top five. It seems that Tuka is now the cork in the bottle, allowing Joyner to just jet away, which brings into question, you know, this being a 1 hour race, we would expect that the drivers would have to pit if they're running the same fixed setup that they usually run in this series. Question is, when does that pit stop come? And is Tuka Valkyasuo trying to prepare for that potentially by saving fuel? I don't know if it's a strategy thing or a pace thing, but yeah, just I mean, I'm used to seeing Ian Joyner, once he gets out in front, just skip away. But this seems like quite a big gain to make early on in such a short time.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it could be a strategy call. It could very much be, as I say, defending from the absolute pack of wolves that are knocking at the door. The big bad wolf is getting ready to huff and puff and blow the house down. Vike, as you mentioned, was gathering pace, and Kevin Lau has been no slouch as well. He has got himself past Harker. He's right on the back, so could well be trying to save fuel, save a bit of tyres. Potentially trying to eke out just that extra lap, trying to get the over or undercut sorted out. Joyner's just set the fastest lap again.
Oh god, yeah, and what a lap it is.
It really is. He is absolutely flying. If there's any rubber on the rims when he comes in to take a pit stop, he deserves a standing ovation purely for that feat. And it really is no mean feat. I mean, as you're saying, he's got Valcuso losing pace behind him after getting a good start. Timothy Ing corked in there as well as Val. So a solid battle going on here. It really is playing into Joyner's hands. I mean, this could really change his strategy and give him carte blanche very early to pull the trigger and come out with some very, very nice track position with the way this lot are battling on.
Yeah, indeed. Worth pointing out, Joyner's the fastest lap that he just set, 125.662. That is faster than his pole position time, which is frankly insane. His lead is now 3.2 seconds as we ride on board with Kevin Lau back end of the top five. If he glances over his shoulder, he'll see Tyler Harker behind him, but he's got big opportunities here with Iles Vike up ahead of him, and Timothy Ing and Tuka Valkyasuo, it seems, scrapping quite substantially for second place. There is some lap traffic in the equation as well. You'll see another car in the distance. That's Philip Falcon, who is our club class championship leader, who got involved in one of those collisions on lap one, and he has found his way back out on the circuit, but he's going to have this second place battle bearing down on him very shortly, which could change a few positions here.
I mean, yeah, change a few positions is somewhat of an understatement. I think the term kingmaker could be thrown around. I mean, 3 wide with the back marker, all the fun of the fair. Of course, they've got every right to be there and hold their line. It's the overtaking driver's responsibility to get it done. It could be 3 or 4 trying to get past at the same time, and there isn't a motorsport fan alive that believes that ends well. How many times have we seen a Le Mans car taken out because, yeah, I thought 2 cars were going through, there was actually a third, and next thing you know, there's £500,000 worth of engineering in the wall at the side. Oh, and they really are going for it, and that is a big wiggle. Is that Timothy Ing there? I believe it was the back end. Just absolutely stepping out there, Reese. They are hotting up at this point. I was trying to get us a rundown of the rest of the field, but these 5 here, they're very much well, they're a bit of attention hungry at the moment, I would say. They're not willing to share the camera spotlight, and yeah, we're absolutely here for it at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. You know, this being such a long race, we'll have plenty of time to give everyone their requisite amount of fame here. But it looks like Timothy Young going for some glory there. He had a big look at Tukavalkiaso into turn 1, but there was no quarter given by the Finn. That's a bit wide for Illes Vike, and that will bring Kevin Lau slightly closer to him in the battle for 4th. Tyler Harker now officially right on the back of this fight, and it looks like he is happy to hang back there. He's going to take his time with this one. He has the club class lead in hand, does Tyler, and he has got a big gulf to the next club class competitor, Kevin Adrian. It's worth pointing out that in the points fight, the club and premier classes, they are scored on overall finishing position. So the more premier class drivers you have in between yourself and your nearest club class competitor, the more points advantage you are going to have. So Tyler is in a great position right now.
He really is, and it is very much brings to mind a phrase which I did have to take a little bit of time to explain to you. A bird in the hand is very much worth 2 in the bush. There is a million reasons for Tyler Harker to hold his positions. There is maybe one minor ego-driven potential idea to, yeah, let's get even more top-class drivers. No, you know what? Hold the position, let them battle, because they are battling ahead as well. These drivers go side by side, and Harker, he won't look a gift horse in the mouth, but he's certainly not going to provoke anything, and it's not like he's going to be losing any pace either, because the drivers ahead of him is the top 5 in the race, and they're a bit quick. If anyone hadn't noticed so far, and I'm sure Harker most definitely has, so he'll be more than happy, as you say, Reese, to just hang on the back of there, pick up any positions, maybe pick himself up a bit of an idea of what to do during the pit stops as well, to take a bit of pointers from the drivers ahead of him. But yeah, when you've got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, Harker at the minute holding them, absolutely race IQ 200, I would say, given what's going on ahead of him at the moment, and the pack as well. Have steadied the flow. Joyner a steady now 3.8 seconds ahead. So either Joyner has nerfed his pace ever so slightly now, he's got the lead, or the pack behind are starting to close the gap pace-wise, and potentially we could see them start to close it up as he puts another 10th on them. But there we go.
Yes, you mentioned pit stops, by the way, John. We've just had our first couple of drivers come in for a scheduled service. Josh Nessel and Joe Haas, who are currently sitting 23rd and 24th. There's Joe Haas making his way out of the pit lane. Worth pointing out, I was monitoring them. Joe Haas taking tyres. Josh Nessel, on the other hand, appears not to have taken tyres, and I wonder if that's going to affect him going forward.
I'm now wondering if this is a 2-stop race.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I was going to build up to that point. Honestly, it is interesting though. Those pit stops happened with 40 minutes to go, but I mean we're running ever closer to that magic 30-minute mark, which is the halfway point of the race. And if these guys are still running as they are, potentially a one-stopper is if not possible, then if not the best strategy, then at least possible is what I was trying to say. Sorry, it's late. It's 1:45 in the morning over here. But regardless, I'm expecting pit lane to be a hive of activity in the next 5 minutes.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, given the fact that we've seen the drivers come in, as you say, in a mix of tyres and fuel, that would very much suggest a potential 2-stop strategy. But will we see anyone try to stretch out the 1-stop? I mean, Joyner, his tyres, given the pace, he's now stretched the gap up to 4.2 seconds. Is he even going to be remotely considering a 1-stop? Because he's getting nicknamed the Tyre Whisperer, that is for sure. Timothy Ing is now up into 2nd place. Let's have a look at that one while that was going on. And there we go, he's just copied Joyner out of the first corner. Yep. He's got the run, he's taken the inside line, and he has said thank you very much, P2 for me. Although Valcuso put up a good fight back and goes straight into defensive mode once again. So it's a mirror overtake on Valcuso once again.
Yeah, and it looks like that lapped car, whoever it was, got involved in the fight somehow, and that's put Tuukka Valkeasuo down another position behind Illes Vike. It looks like the lap car in question was indeed Joe Haas, one of the drivers that had just come out of pit lane. He was trying to give the drivers overtaking him the line, and Tuukka was just going for the same piece of racetrack Joe was, and unfortunately that forced Valkeasuo into a bit of a compromise situation. So he's on the back foot at the moment. But now we have another person. Oh, that was close just then. Did you see that? Between Timothy Young and Philip Falcon, who is, again, a lapped car who's already spent time in pit lane having to let everyone through. But it got very close just then to an incident.
Yes, that is, I believe, they say in football terms, squeaky bum time. That was very much a clenching drive. Falcon, unfortunately, finding his way off the track. Everyone else in this battle for the top 5 did safely make it through, but I'll tell you what, Timothy Ing hasn't much benefited from that. Oh no, wait, yes he has. He has got himself quite the gap to the field ahead of him. That is some impressive stuff, in fact. Sorry, yeah, we'll bring up the interval. So we can see, yeah, he's already got himself a second ahead of Vike, who's got himself again past Valkeasuo. So Valkeasuo tumbling down the order. So if he is going for a one-stop strategy, it doesn't look good for him, quite frankly, in the later stages of the race. If he's having this much of a tyre drop-off at the end of stint 1, things potentially not looking rosy in the future for Valkeasuo if he does go for a one-stopper here.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that again, because like, this is literally the first time I've ever seen an F1600 race that requires a pit stop. So we're all learning as we go here, but we will try to bring you the best information we can at various times. Looking at the other battles in the field, this is the fight for 15th. Michael Cords is leading Charles Krasik ahead of Dominicus Consavicius, who was one of the drivers who fell down the order quite hard early on and is trying to work his way back up.
He is indeed, yeah, and it has been a solid little battle. The three of them absolutely cutting through the air. They're currently trying to catch up, of course, with Anthony Ori. He is currently holding P3 in the club class, so they are not too far away from a potential podium. Don't want to be slowing themselves down. The three of them, as I say, punching their way through the air, so they will have a bit of slipstream, a bit of top end speed, especially up along and over the hill. So we'll see if they can close in. It looks like Valkeasuo has just dropped down. He's crashed. We're going to go straight to a replay of that one, Reese. I think. There we go.
Yes. So this was happening through the opening corners. Was this a solo error from Valkeasuo? Up behind Illes Vike, and oh no, the rear end just went on him. And it looks like Kevin Lau tagged him. Tyler Harker managed to make his way through without contact, but that rejoin was a little borderline there. Fortunately, no one else getting heavily involved.
Indeed there, yes, another clean-up on aisle 3 moment there. Valkeasuo completely losing the back end of the car, so maybe putting a bit of credence, better safe than sorry, two-stop strategy type scenario, because Valkeasuo, that steady run down the order, he's now down in 10th position. And he is a fair bit behind, and he's got returning driver Hammack ahead of him, and Hammack's got Diaz Castro absolutely banged to rights in this little battle as well. So a returning driver making quite the splash. So too Jeremy Childers as well. Another battle that has now been magnified in the top 10, and it is Childers. And this start-finish straight is certainly looking to be a hotbed of action, and the drivers in and around the top 10 race, they are very much on board with providing the overtaking action here. Not quite sure where to look at the moment. It's got itself a little bit spicy.
Yeah, we've gotten some really good fighting going on as the fuel burns off, as the tyres wear down. The car's rear end in particular gets a little bit more agile, and so I think the drivers are having to deal with some slightly altered car behaviour at the moment. Keeping an eye on Hamak here, up 2 spots, and now keeping Tuca Valkyasuo behind him without much trouble. And Kyle Diaz-Castro is his next target. The 2 fighters ahead being Jakub Chipley and Jeremy Childers. You just get this eye in for how difficult the circuit is. This corner entry right here, there is no reference point for your turn in. Which is frankly ridiculous. I've had so many problems through that corner. I eventually realized that if I turn in as soon as I see those chimneys, those cooling towers coming up over the horizon, I usually make the apex.
Yeah, that's one I'm going to put in my piece notes for sure. That's going to be top priority. But yeah, no, as you say, no clear markers. As a track aficionado, you'll be more than aware, Reese, and I'm sure the viewers as well. FIA regulations, you see them predominantly Barcelona and things, these bright orange markers on the barriers on the outside to tell you when you can brake and accelerate. Of course, Barcelona's turns 3 and 4 the most prominent examples of them. But all FI grade tracks, they've got them, very few don't. And for a track like this, massively surprising that they don't have that type of scenario to let the drivers see where they're going. There's a lot of tracks as well, as you know, Reece. It's very much a curb-to-curb type experience. Once you very much use your braking marker as the end of the curbs, you aim for the next set of curbs. No such markers for the drivers, as we can see corner after corner. They are just flying in their blind, and they're currently right on top of one another. And this is a precarious battle for Seatley, Childers, Diaz-Castro and Hamak, because we know that the tyres are going off. We've seen a couple of drivers already lose the back end. We're coming to the end of what we suspect to be the tyre life, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of these drivers pulls the trigger and comes in first and shows their hand effectively.
Yes, well, Tuca Valkyasuo on the previous lap came into the pits, and I understand that bit of damage limitation after what's gone on for him thus far, but these guys seem content to stay out. Remember, we saw those first couple of pit stops with about 40 minutes to go in the race. I reckon when we reach 20 minutes to go, I think that's when the front of the pack is going to come in. It seems like a full tank, so to speak, lasts about 40 minutes or so. So we'll keep an eye on who's coming into the pits, but I'm pretty sure those leaders are going to be staying out for some time. While we're at it, you mentioned FIA regulation circuits. Fun fact about Lédenon that absolutely floored me when I found out. Up until the 9th of November last year, it had an FIA Grade 2 license, which meant it could host everything except Formula 1. True.
Wow.
True facts. Lédenon was FIA Grade 2.
So we could do a GT3, GT4 multi-class here?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring it on.
Wow.
We could bring some hypercars in there as well. Why not?
Chuck an LMP 2 or 3 in there. Let's get this party started. I mean, my goodness gracious me. I mean, I take it they've got some kind of traffic control building for the LMP2s and stuff for when they inevitably take off into the sky in one direction or another, just to make sure they're cleared for landing.
Yeah. Speaking of taking off into the sky, did you see in the background just a few moments ago when we saw drivers coming out of the final corner in the background? The uphill grade is ridiculous coming out of the final turn. It's crazy. Like they are it would take effort to walk up that.
Oh, it really would. There's no way. I mean, yeah, just even the thought of that, my heart rate is just at 147, Reece. I'm almost 50. I'm not walking up that. No, let's not do that. I would very much be... yeah, I'd very much be on a moped of some description. That's for absolutely sure. Yeah, it's like Brands Hatch. You know yourself, Brands Hatch used to be run in reverse, and it was push bikes.
Yes, indeed.
Push bikes. Goodness gracious.
And it used to be all grass as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love me a bit of racetrack history. It's what I've built half of my brand on. Anyway, battle for fourth, really, actually, what is now third, with Iles Vaik lining up in third place. Looks like we've had some mild movement. Carl Diaz-Castro got a slowdown penalty about half a lap ago, and he's dropped down behind Zdenek Hamak now. Tyler Harker moving up to P5, so it's now between Vaik and Lau here for third, and it looks like Kevin is going to try and make his move here, or does he? Oh, no, he's not going to let Iles go. Round the outside of Triple Gauche as they go through some smoke from someone spinning up ahead. Can Kevin Lau do this? He's carrying the speed round the outside. That's going to give him the inside for the next braking zone. Some superb driving from our championship leader, and he makes the pass to get into the top three. Fantastic.
That's why he's championship leader. Quite frankly.
Yep.
Yeah, racing is about patience, it's about, precision, and that was absolutely 4D chess right there. He knew he had to play the long game. He was going to get the exit in the inside line eventually. He just needed to really lean on the tyres in a massive way at the end of the first stint to make it happen. Easy work, easy work. Championship leader. Doing championship things. He is not completely out of the woods as yet, as Vaik looking to potentially make a counter move. He really is going to have to absolutely put the foot down if he's going to do so. And I've just noticed there at the bottom we can see Josh Nessel being overtaken by the top two in fairly short order. Joyner still 4.4. Oh, and there's another driver off the track. That is Nessel, in fact.
No, that's Nessel, yeah.
That is, and he is going to pull in the pits. No, he's not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to stay out of the pits. Yeah. Nessel spun in front of Ian Joyner. It was a bit of a stressful moment for me as I was watching it on my end. But it appears that Nessel has made. Yeah. See, that was our race leader right there behind him. So that was a lucky escape for Ian.
It really was. And I tell you what, Ian is almost had another one as well, because Charles Krasik has managed to, I believe, light up the back tyres like it's Blackpool Illuminations. And there we go.
Oh,
all four tyres.
Round he goes.
If you're going to get flat spots, might as well share them round.
Yeah, indeed. He makes a donut out of it to get back going, does Charles, who before that point was actually the driver who'd gained the most positions in the field. He was up 10 spots last time I checked before that incident. The Hard Charger Award currently goes to Luis Rivellino, who's up 9 places in P12. For the moment, Jakob Shepley and Jeremy Childers continuing their fight for what is now P6. Jeremy up 7 positions. He's been steadily marching his way forward and keeping this pressure up on Jakob Shepley, which has been quite good to see. So 16 laps to go according to my timing. We're still waiting on pit stops for our top 3. I think it might be a good opportunity. This being a single race, we usually get the chance to have a word from the Almeida Academy, who put this series on in the warm-up between races, but no warm-up for the moment. So we'll take a quick step away from the action and be with you again in a few moments while you hear from our league.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Suelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because of the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Suelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy. Wait a race.
You're watching Pit Road Productions, the Almeida Racing Academy, just in time to see a whole host of pit stops from the midfield. Tyler Harker's just come into the pits. We see Kevin Adrian, Michael Cords, Luis Rivellino, and Dominicus Consavicius coming into the pit lane as well. So this is going to be interesting here, with Harker having a pit stop of 23 seconds. That's about the amount of time we'd expect from a pit stop, considering what we've seen thus far. Big thanks once again to the Almeida Racing Academy, best coaching academy in the business, for bringing us on to broadcast this series. Reminder that gold memberships are on sale right now, 20% off until the 20th of July. That's tomorrow, at least by my reckoning here in Australia. It's still the 18th for just about everybody else, but yeah, 20% off for life if you get it this weekend. Big pit stops coming in from most of our top 5 here. Now, let's keep an eye out here. I'm Reese Gardner, John Wright alongside me and behind the production controls. Let's see if anyone's taking tyres here, John. It doesn't look like any of them are.
Yeah, no, they're very stationary. It looks like they're going for fuel, so yeah, no tyres. We did see one of the cars earlier take tyres and one of the cars not take tyres. Clearly the offset of pace lost isn't going to be as much as time lost stationary, taking on a fresh set of boots. I did wonder if we see drivers potentially even just taking on 2 tyres, but no, that's Kevin Lau straight in and out of the pits. Of course, Joyner's not been in, Childers just leaving now, but no, they are going to go full raw dog on the rubber, it seems, Reese, and yeah, one set to rule them all, and just a fresh top up on the tank, and only 20 minutes of fuel, so the lap times are going to be quick, comparatively speaking, to the opening of the race as well. So we're going to see a lot more action as Ian Joyner, I will stop talking eventually, Ian Joyner and Timothy Ing both come into the pits, Reese.
Indeed they do. Well, let's see then how this works out here. So Kevin Lau is the leader of the cars that have pitted. Looks like the quickest pit stop belongs to Jeremy Childers at 20.4 seconds. Ian Joyner has been extending this gap out the front, keeping it around about 4.5 seconds for the majority of the race. So that tells me that he's been using the fuel to its full extent. 22.2 second stop for Ian Joyner as we move up to Jeremy Childers here with Tyler Harker right now, and Childers, fresh out of the pits, apparently has a little bit less temperature in his tyres. They would have cooled down during the pit stop, and so Tyler Harker, his tyres switched on, makes his way back past. Timothy Ing getting a pit stop about a second faster than Ian Joyner, and his lane time was half a second faster. So the gap for the race lead has closed a little, but he is still very much the chaser here.
Yep, he is indeed the hunter, and Ian Joyner, well, he is a big fan of being the hunted, it seems, and that's exactly what he's doing. Losing about a second and a half through the pit stop doesn't make a bit of a difference at 3.8 seconds in the lead, and given what we've seen so far, nothing to suggest that that gap is going to do anything other than increase, although, Reese, we really are now fully in to blue flag territory. We've just had that highlighted beautifully by Childers and Harker coming together, one of them on slightly colder tyres, not because of the change in them, but just, as you know, coming through the pit lane, that will cool them down because there's a lot less friction, so it does make it a little bit trickier. So yeah, tyres will be up and running, but Ian Joyner and Ing up at the front. They're going to be meeting, oh, Diaz Castro's got a black flag, he's down in 18th.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely certain what happened there. He came in for his pit stop, but I get the feeling he might have sped in the pit lane. The pit speed limit isn't particularly high here at Lédenon. But looking at him coming out of the pit lane, it doesn't look like he's necessarily... Oh, yeah, I think he might have, actually. Exceeded the pit speed limit by about 10 k's an hour, so... Yeah, that's not ideal for Kyle. He was battling in the top 10, slipped back a little bit before coming into the lane, but now he'll have no chance of finishing in the top 10 unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, he will need the sim racing gods to smile down upon him with, yeah, immenseness. I'm not sure where I'm going to take that, but yeah, he does need a lot of favours to fall his way. Yeah, I'm sure we can crack a few jokes about Scotland trying to get out the opening group stages of the World Cup there. But yeah, he's going to need himself a bit of a miracle if he's going to catch himself back up, especially. Yeah, Tyler Harker, he's got himself in a very good position, Reece. Not, I mean, that's already 44 minutes gone. Where does the time go? These races are incredible. But yeah, Harker leading the way in the club. We've got Adrian and Anthony Orai. He's got himself onto the podium in the club class in 13th position. So I was saying earlier, it'd be interesting to see if we get any club drivers in the top 10. We've got 2 with Kevin Adrian rounding out the overall top 10, and Tyler Harker very much in 5th position. He does have, if you'll excuse the pun at this track, an uphill battle, keeping himself at Q the last corner, keeping Jeremy Childers behind him, the returning Childers. He is on a charge at the minute, and while drivers around him have been fluctuating through the field, a solid 8 positions and potentially a 9th before the end. Childers making an absolutely solid return, and that overtake might be coming sooner rather than later, judging by that cornering there, Reece.
Yeah, Tyler Harker was very deep into the first 2 left-handers. Childers going for the general better momentum, giving up a little bit of speed through the first 2 left-handers to make sure the entry into the third is fine. But Harker seems to be doing a good job of holding him off. It's worth noting as well, little curious, the gap for the lead came down a little bit more over the last couple of laps. It now sits at 3.7 seconds, so it looks like Ian Joyner's found his mojo again and is starting to extend that gap again. But for a couple of laps, it looked like Timothy Young was catching him up. It's worth putting a pin in that for later. We'll keep an eye on stuff going on further back for now. In fact, just behind these 2 that we've been focusing on, we see Jakub Chipley and Zdenek Kamak in 7th and 8th. There was a change a couple of laps ago between them, and Chipley, I believe, got ahead of Hamak, or was it the other way around? I'm not entirely certain. Regardless, the 4 drivers battling from 5th to 8th have got a lot to work for here. It was Chipley overtaking Hamak there as Zdenek ran wide.
He did, yeah, a bit of a lock-up, bit of a puff of smoke. Unfortunately, no magic, just a position lost. So yeah, Seaplate making himself up a spot. Hamak's got some good pedigree for overtakes here so far. So we'll see if he can make a counter move. Childers, we've also got another battle going on slightly further down the field. Norman Ryan, he had a bit of an incident earlier, so I think his pit stop was ever so slightly longer, getting himself a bit of damage repaired. But he's making his way very, very, very quickly indeed, and it does look like he's going to get schmurdered. This is a case of when, rather than if, for this overtake. Ryan showing some very, very, very good pace in the late stages of the race. Oh, Charles Krasik has just had a massive double incident.
Oh dear.
And yeah, Norman Ryan, he crashed not so long ago, so he is definitely out of position as he gets this nailed into turn number 1. Absolutely sends it up the inside. Honour is the better part of Valor there. Smerder realising there's a quicker car coming through. And Ryan recovering. Krasik, it has not been a good day at the office. No, apparently SDK doesn't want to play. This is Norman Ryan, I'm not sure.
Sometimes it does. Yes, indeed. Okay, so he gets up over the curb. Oh, yeah, that's at turn 11. The run down to the final corner. I think he just got a bit too far onto the curb, and it's obviously a lower grip surface than the asphalt, a bit smoother, so there's not as much friction, and so around he went. Remember, the cars are all on very light fuel loads as well. Krasik has picked up a black flag, and I think that might be for hitting the incident limit, because he did mention it was a double incident. This apparently is the second. second one. Coming into, I think that might be turn 6, he unfortunately lost the rear end again.
He did indeed, yeah. With a number of slides, unfortunately, those tyres are going to be like 50 pence pieces, as we'd see across here. So not getting much traction into that final corner, and picks himself up a drive-through for breaching those track limits, picking up too many incident points. No such issues for the drivers inside the top 10, and safe to say Tyler Harker really is going for driver of the day. He's in the club class, he's in 5th position, and Reese, to say that he's shown some phenomenal race IQ is somewhat of an understatement. We saw him sit patiently on the back of a 4-way battle that could have easily seen him propelled into the overall podium. He held his ground, and he's got himself up in the 5th after the pit stop, and he is now rightfully holding his ground against Childer, who potentially is a quicker driver. But at this point, Harker well deserving of the battle he is currently involved in, and I guarantee you he is absolutely grinning ear to ear at the moment, being chased like this, and is involved in such an intense battle right down to the end. Great drive from him so far.
Yeah, Harker has really set the timing screens alight this season. He's had some fantastic pace. He was always a factor in the Spec Racer Ford as well, so a very capable driver indeed, and he will have earned this club class win and overall top 5 if it works out that way for him. Could even be a top 4, looking at how they've gained on Illes Vike in the last couple of laps. That car up ahead in the background, that is Illes Vike. A couple of laps ago, Harker took about 6-7 tenths out of him, so looks like we might be seeing a 3-way fight for 4th emerging very shortly.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely salivating at the thought. This course absolutely delivering. My first outing here, and absolutely will not be my last. We've got the baby corkscrew, we've got all kinds of cornering around here, and Childers once again chasing up the hill. He's got Harker within that 0.3 of a second, as you say. Vike not too far ahead either. So these two have been so close. Beautiful work on the accelerators. Really, it's often my downfall, especially when I'm doing NASCAR. I do go very quiet and just listen to the engines bouncing off the wall as 40 cars go flying past, and I do love to marvel at just how exquisite you need to be on the accelerator to keep these cars between the Mayo and the Mustard through a course like this. Childers putting on an absolute masterclass at the moment. He's going to have slipstream and dirty air, given how close he is, and they are definitely closing in on Vike ahead of him. As you say, with 8 minutes left to go, this is on an absolute knife edge. I personally would be absolutely sweating bullets. I wonder if Almeida Academy can coach the nerves out of me. Maybe that would help improve the driving, because if I was in Harker's spot at the minute, I would just let Childers go.
Indeed, I would be asking if the gold membership comes with some antiperspirant as well, because I do have quite a sweat problem in my rig. Being down in Australia, sim racing in the summer, it's hard. Let me tell you that. And I'm sure you guys in Europe and the UK and all that are dealing with something similar right now with the heat wave that you've been having.
Oh, indeed, and when you live in a house that's designed to maintain heat because it gets so cold in winter, in the summer it really maintains the heat. So yes, I have a ceiling fan designed for a room twice this size. My hallway will often get to beyond 26, 28 degrees, just for fun. And yeah, it does get very hot, so I do have a jumper on today, but I can assure you there is fans every place in the room. To keep things going. It's my own fault for having 4 screens. I'm about to add a second PC so we can do even fancier broadcasts, but we'll keep that under our hats at the moment. But yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. And as a ginger Scotsman, yeah, I do like to hide from the sun a lot. It has to be said.
You're probably going to need a proper turbofan set up for that room pretty shortly. In any case, we'll keep our eyes on Harker and Childers here as they are continuing to just eke out a little bit more of that gap. They're chipping away at it compared to Illes Vike. A lap ago, they set 26.1s, while Vike set a 26.3. Now they've all done 26.1s, or even a 26.0 in the case of Jeremy Childers. Childers. So it seems like, for a couple of laps, Ilesvike is able to maintain the same pace that Harker and Childers are able to, but then there's a lap or so where he loses a couple more tenths. It'll be interesting to see how that develops. What about this one, though? This is the fight for 13th. Lucky 13. Anthony Ori currently holds onto it, but for how long? It looks like Dominicus Consavicius is looking for a way through after Ori ran a little wide, coming out of turn 9, and now it's the run down the hill towards the final corner. You can take so much out of the curbs here, and it looks like from the driver behind, I think that's there might be a lapped car involved in all of that. Some very nice usage of the curbs here, but it seems like Dominicus Consavicius is going to have to try and find another way through here on Anthony Ori. Only 5 minutes left to do it.
Yep, not long left to go. He's had plenty of time to size up these opposition and see if he can find some kind of chink in the armour, see if there's a corner where he can excel, where the driver ahead of him doesn't quite manage to get the exit that he needs. He really is praying. It was Rich Meesters, in fact, that was involved. I'll tell you what, wow, he's got a very, very, very good run. Up over the hill, down we go again through the treacherous double right-hander, back up the hill. Oh, and we've got a late crash, Michael Cords. Dropping it from 17th position. That's going to cost him a couple of points because it's Norman Rinn that is behind him, and that is a very quick driver. We've got this battle going on. We've still got the battle between Harker and Childers. Harker, he has gone full Gandalf. You shall not pass. And Childers, he's running out of time as well. Anthony Ori. And this for a podium position in the club class as well, so Ori really does have a lot to play for here, and Consavicius really is going to be putting the pressure on, but they do have the gold class driver Michael Tan behind them, and as I mentioned earlier, Reese, the third driver in the equation is often the best placed, and with a couple of minutes left to go, nerves, a little mistake here or there, a little lock up and a puff of smoke, and the next thing you know, it's not Consavicius, it could be Michael Tan steals himself a 2-for-1.
Yeah, indeed. He'll be hoping that Consavicius and Ori get together a little more here in the first couple of corners. They nearly bang wheels. Ori is sent wide as Consavicius is through at turn 2, but then the cutback from Anthony Ori up the inside. But Dominicus has the inside for the next set of corners. Outbraking is key here and keeping that momentum up. It's a harsh curb on the inside and a big run up the hill from Anthony Ori trying to fight back. Meesters is starting to get into this fight, and it's not really a fight he wants to be in. Remember, he's the lapped car in this situation, but Michael Tan is loving this. My timing is now starting to officially show him as within a second of Consavicius and Ori.
He is indeed, he is very much catching up, and as you say, we've got a few unwitting participants there. Rich Meesters trying to run his own race. He's a lap down, he's in 23rd place. You can see he is right in the thick of things here. He's done well to get himself out of the way, but he is still very much involved, and he could potentially be the key that lets Michael Tan sneak his way back in, although this battle is nowhere near done between Ori and Consavicius. Same with Harker and Childers. In fact, Harker making a late charge race. We're going to have to jump up there because he is now within a few tenths of Vike, and Childers seems to be losing about a tenth. Oh, he's gone deep.
Yep, that's a big slide from Ilesvike, and Tyler Harker will get alongside him. That was through turn 6, but into turn 8. Looks like Ilesvike has the inside. Got to be careful, though. Just enough room left to the inside from Tyler Harker. Can he get the run up the hill around the outside? It looks like he might be able to at least keep his foot in it here, but Jeremy Childers looking behind them. They interlock wheels for a brief moment. This is tight fighting, and it's all for P4. Childers up the inside of Vike now. Harker into 4th. Childers trying to get into the top 5, but there's no room to get by Ilesvike there.
No, what a race it is between, as you say, they absolutely interlocked there. Childers thought he was getting himself a free run up into P5. Not to be though. Tyler Harker, what a drive. We were just waxing lyrical about how good he's been. He's known exactly what to do, when to do it. He's made some very, very, very good racing decisions, and he's about to make another one because he's going to come under once again double pressure. Vike looking to retake the position, and Childers is well within slipstream distance. He is being absolutely pulled along behind Vike. And I tell you what, Vike's lost himself a bit of pace down the hill, and dare I say it, no curse to the commentator intended, but Tyler Harkin making himself a bit of a breakaway when we've got only a minute left to go. Ian Joyner is still in the race, folks. He's 5 seconds ahead. He will see the checkered flag ahead of Timothy Ing soon. But these drivers here, rather selfishly, stealing all the camera time, Reese. But grab my popcorn, bring it on.
Yeah, and I was going to say, there's a fourth car that's joined this fight now. Jakob Sipley in car 37. He's right there behind them. He's taken advantage of all of this fighting, and he could gain a couple more positions on the final lap. We'll have to wait and see on that, though. Harker, it's up to him to hold on to P4 as Ian Joyner has just taken the white flag with 30 seconds left on the timer. So, final lap begins for our race leader. He holds on to a 5.3 second lead over Timothy Ing, and Kevin Lau is another 14 seconds behind that. That shows you just how much of a gain Joyner and Ing have made over the course of this race. Just incredible stuff. And now the final 3.15 kilometers begins for this fourth place battle, which has really stolen the spotlight.
It really has, and it's going to continue to do so. They're going to go absolutely full-blooded into turns 1, 2 and 3, and Childer could be the big beneficiary here as he really finds the concertina effect running massively in his favour. Harker not able to continue that run. He had about 0.8 of a second. Childer looking to the inside line. I tell you what, if this isn't a testament to the teachings at the Almeida Racing Academy, I do not know what is. This is incredible open wheel racing and incredibly slippery cars. And tell you what, Childer, the respect and the precision on the brakes and the accelerator from all four of these drivers, absolutely impeccable. Harker holding another line up over, another perfect line, up and over the hill, but Vike, Childers and Seapley now really in the hunt, and I might get sacked for missing Joyner taking the checkered flag here, Reese, but these drivers, absolutely entertainment overload.
Indeed, Ian Joyner crosses the line to win in dominant fashion at Lédenon. Another win notched up on the board with Lau finishing in third. That's going to result in a close of the championship standings. Timothy Ing finishing in second spot, and there's Kevin Lau behind. But this battle for fourth is still on. Illes Vike has turned into the hero of this for my money. He had a big job to try and keep these guys behind him, and he has succeeded in stopping the momentum of Jeremy Childers and Jakob Shepley. Tyler Harker up ahead, though, winning the club class by finishing fourth overall. His next closest competitor, Kevin Adrian, is sitting in P10 and trying to keep Todd Bonesteel behind him. That is the conclusion of a fantastic fourth place fight, and it looks like Kevin Adrian is going to hold on to Todd Bonesteel there and finish in the top 10. Very nicely done from Kevin Adrian, who we usually see implied shirtless on the camera feed. So that's our first few cars done and dusted, and it looks like the rest of the cars yet to cross the line, they don't have any real company. Anthony Ori and Michael Tan finishing a long way apart from each other. It looks like the battle just fizzled out between them and Dominicus Consavicius, so a bit of a shame there. Josh Nessel, the second last car to take the checkered there, had a couple of issues after making his way through the pits. And Michael Cords, well, he had a few issues of his own, but he is at least awarded with a lead lap finish. That is going to conclude the racing portion of the day. Reviewing our results, Ian Joyner, again, 5.3 seconds in the lead, and in a field as close as competitive as this, that is pretty solid. Timothy Ing and Kevin Lau will round out your podium there, with Tyler Harker taking the win in the club class, fourth place overall. Fantastic job ahead of Illes Vike, Jeremy Childers and Jakob Shepley. Zdenek Hamak finishing in P8 on his return to the Academy League, with Tuka Valkiaswo and Kevin Adrian rounding out your top 10. Kevin Adrian second in the club class. Just behind him was Todd Bonesteel, with Luis Rivellino in 12th. Dominicus Consavicius finishes in 13th, about a second ahead of Anthony Ori. Michael Tan, Josh Nessel and Michael Cords, your last finishers on the lead lap. A lap down for Norman Rinner, Andre Svoboda, Mark Schmurder, Joe Haas and Rich Meesters. 2 laps down, unfortunately, for Carl Diaz Castro, who got a black flag somewhere on the way through the race. Charles Krasick as well, having his fair share of problems, as did Saranos Bruzka. Philip Falcon ultimately classified 26 laps down. He came back into the pits shortly after his third visit to pit lane, and did not come back out. Manuel Hofer and Brian Lenz, they only went to the pits once, and that was to retire. So we're going to bring ourselves into driver interviews now, and the first driver to join us is going to be our overall race winner, Ian Joyner, who is with us now. Ian, welcome. Congratulations on a big 5.3 second lead there, which must have been pretty hard to get around Lédenon.
Yeah, I think but pretty well the whole bit of it came in the first bit of the race, and then I think when Timothy got clear of Tucker, it was really consistent, to be honest. I think Timothy maybe took a second the lead in the pits, and then maybe fell back a second in the traffic in the last stint. Other than that, it was one of those races that it was definitely a race, but not wheel to wheel. Definitely a race of the clock.
Yeah, indeed. This is the first time, literally the first time, that I've ever seen an F1600 car have to take a pit stop in a race. It would have been a bit of a change in your tack, your attitude, your strategy, being faced with a long single race like this one. What was your main focus? Was it tyre or fuel preservation, or did neither really matter?
I was definitely saving fuel in the first laps. It was behind Tucker, just because it can make quite a big difference at the stops if you do it for a long time. But I think if you can get clear, that's usually the way to go. So yeah, so I went with that. There's definitely no fuel saving going on at that point. Just trying to race the clock, hold the gap, and then other than that, it's just trying to operationally not screw up the pit stop, because there's so many ways you can get it wrong. And I don't see what happened to most people, but it looked like at least the top few must have been fairly clean, I think, in the pits. Quite sure what happened.
Yeah, I think traffic was a big aspect, and I think a few drivers were actually getting penalties for speeding in pit lane. No pit speed limiter on these cars, worth pointing out. But in terms of your final finishing position, Timothy Ng coming into this round with the championship lead in hand, but you've closed that gap a little bit now. Still really early days in the season, though. We've still got plenty of the season left. So I suppose I asked you a similar question a couple of rounds ago. Are you just taking this 1 week at a time?
Yeah, of course. I think we're probably going to get some really good races I think I've not really. I've said to Kevin a few times we've been sort of out of phase in races. I'm looking forward to getting some racing with Kevin a bit closer on the track, and I'm sure me and Timothy are going to meet a few times as if we're a bit closer. I'm sure it would have been a really good race today. It was just a race the clock, but with most of the calendar being sprint races, I think it'll be it's a great season to look forward to.
Indeed. Well, floor is yours, Ian. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to the whole league, really. So really nice to see. I think we've got a couple of, more than a few really drivers who've been in for a few seasons now. It's just really nice seeing them all improve. It's a great environment. So yeah, shout out to everyone who organises it and everyone who takes part.
And thank you very much to you, Ian, for joining us. Congratulations on the win. We'll be catching you next week.
Cheers, bye.
And that is Ian Joyner, our overall race winner. Finishing in second place behind him was Timothy Ng, who joins us now, coming into this round as the championship leader, Timothy, but a strong second place finish. Must have been difficult dealing with that traffic, though.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. I got scared after a while because I wasn't sure if they were going to let me by or if they were going to make me do the work. So some tricky moments, but thankfully it all worked out pretty well. But yeah, throughout the race, just kind of stuck in no man's land. Not the worst thing, though.
Yeah, I think a quiet race is a good race, especially at this stage of the championship where you have that lead, that great championship position to protect. The F1600 seems to suit you very nicely, and the schedule is looking quite interesting as well. Any tracks that jump out to you as ones that you might be especially good at later on?
I can't say for sure, but I can tell you what tracks I'll be horrible on. And conveniently, okay. I'll be skipping that week, which is Tsukuba next week. I'll be out of town, but it's totally not because I'm bad on the track.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, congratulations once again on the second place, Timothy. You did a good job of keeping Kevin Lau at bay by a long way at the end. We won't be seeing you next week, obviously, but in 2 weeks' time, hopefully we're chatting to you again.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Excellent stuff from Timothy Ng today. A strong second place finish. And rounding out the podium spots was Kevin Lau. It was a tight battle, especially early on, Kevin, for that top three. And once the pit stop started, you found yourself in quite a big gulf. It looked like, a very active first part of the race, very quiet second part. So how was it from your perspective?
Well, I'm kind of just happy to finish where I guess I expected to be based on pure pace. Luckily, I didn't get taken out by the spin in front of me, but picking up that slowdown kind of threw a wrench in the works. I was kind of hoping to battle against Tim in that train towards the beginning of the race, but dropping back those several positions, and then once Ian overtook Tuka, he just drove away, and then once Timothy did the same, I was just trying to get my way back to the P3 that I was hoping for. Yeah.
Well, get it, you did, and that's a solid points haul at a round where I think the track was really the defining aspect of it. Not just the format, the fact that you guys had to take a pit stop, but to do it around a track like this, where it's really difficult to pass. You don't have much time to rest. Consistency was everything here.
Yeah, I definitely got lucky as well. I overshot my box again, but luckily, I guess Ilias took a little bit longer in the pits, and I came out about a couple seconds clear. So going into that pit stop phase, I think even if I hadn't overtaken him on track with that delta, I probably could have gotten him in the pits. Either way, it was a little bit of weight off my shoulders after that point.
Well, congratulations again on the overall podium, Kevin. We'll see you next week at Tsukuba.
Yeah, see ya.
Kevin Lau finishing P3 today, and not finishing on the podium or even in the top 5 overall, but getting second place in the club class. Final driver, it appears, joining us here today, Kevin Adrian. Good to see you again, Kevin, and very good drive from you. You started 18th and finished 10th in the end. Obviously, those opening laps were quite chaotic, and a good bulk of those positions would have been gained around then, but it was settling in for the long haul after that where you really made your money.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't qualify exactly where I wanted, but that first lap, first corner, I gained a bunch. Had to go off track to get it, got a slowdown, but whatever, I survived. And yeah, it was just keep going, keep going. I think I was about 3 seconds behind Todd Bonesteel for most of the first stint. And then I think he might have lost concentration a bit because I caught up pretty quick. And coming out of the pits, I was in front of him, so I was just holding him off. He made a run for it at the end, but I held him off. So endurance is a little bit different than the sprint races. You just got to be consistent. Don't make many major mistakes. And that's what I did. So yeah, I'm happy with a 10th.
As you should be. Fantastic stuff. Tsukuba is the next round of the championship, and we'll be seeing a track that, much like Lédenon, it has a bit of a history with the Academy, doesn't it? I think last time we saw you here at Tsukuba in the spec race of Ford, you definitely weren't afraid to get late on those brakes into the first turn. Are you going to be bringing much of your previous experience with Tsukuba in the spec race of Ford to the F1600, or is there what are you doing to prepare for that round?
Well, I think they are very similar. Well, they have similar speeds, so everything works out the same on where you can pass, where you can't pass. So yeah, just getting a run out of that last corner and hopefully getting inside for the first corner, and that's usually the best place to pass, which is the same for most cars. So yeah, it should be fun. Tough to pass, but the same as here.
Excellent stuff. Well, congratulations on the club class podium, Kevin. Solid points, and we did catch that battle with you and Todd at the end, which was very nice to watch. So in 7 days' time, hopefully we're chatting to you again, and we're telling more stories.
Yep, sounds good. See you guys around.
Kevin Adrian, our final driver of the day to have a chat to, and I guess that's going to bring things to an end here, John. Another great round of the Almeida Racing League, and I'm very happy with how this one turned out. Your first time at Lédenon, and you've been singing its praises already, so I think we're both happy with how this went down.
Absolutely beyond delighted would be somewhat of an understatement. Yeah, Lédenon absolutely on point as a track that provides some serious racing action. A definite test for the drivers who, in the vast majority passed with absolutely flying colours, especially when there was championship ramifications on the line. So yeah, big fan of these cars, big fan of this league, big fan of the Academy and the lifetime 20% off as well. And I'll definitely be back at Lédenon sometime soon in an F4. Won't be sharing the lap times though, thank you very much.
Excellent stuff. Well, thanks very much everybody for watching out there in the world, and we're hoping to see you again in 7 days time. Remember, it's just a couple of days left with that with the Academy 20% off anniversary sale for gold memberships. Remember that 20% off, if you take advantage of it over this weekend, you get it for the entire duration of your gold membership. So get in on that. Also make sure to check out the merch store, thanks to Livery as well. Reminder that everything is off pre-order now, but you can still purchase it. That's coming very close. Shirts, caps, 3/4 zip. Make sure to get in on that. And once again, huge thanks to you all for following along with us here today. I'm Reese Gardner, John Wright alongside me in the commentary box, and also producing behind the scenes here on Pit Road Productions. We'll see you next time.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Suelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Suelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.